Hello, welcome to Waypoint Survival. Today, I want to show you all the kit that I'm carrying for the 1790s Survival Series. Stay tuned. As you can see, I'm carrying quite a lot of gear, and all of the things that go on the belts across both ways, things to work on the flintlock and to keep it functional in the field, to clean it and all of that, plus the bedroll, the haversack, the possibles kit, and everything else that you might possibly want on a long cross-country trek. So stick with me. We're going to go inside the cabin and I'm going to lay this stuff out. I'm going to show you what I'm carrying and what I have. So first of all, I have a custom shooting pouch made by Jeff Po'boy Luke, and I added just a small sheath to it with my patch knife. Inside, I carry a rolled up piece of leather, and inside it's just a small bag-like, and this has my tow in it, T-O-W. That's for cleaning my flintlock. The next thing that I have is just a small priming horn, or sometimes called a pocket horn, and of course that's for black powder. I also carry in that same pocket in this back pouch here a vent pick and a brush. Of course, that's to clean the pan and to clean out the vent touch hole. I carry a bag of 47 caliber, although I'm using a 50 caliber. These seem to shoot pretty well and probably more historically accurate. I don't think that they kept such tight tolerances always in the old days, and I didn't have to stop to clean it quite so often. These are hand cast. Also carry a flint wallet, and in here are just some extra flints. There's 3 here, there's a few more down in here with some extra leathers. I also carry my extra leads for my pencil, and I carry an extra guard for my frizzen to keep it from accidentally getting struck, or to help keep it from rusting. Down in here, wrapped up in deer skin, I have some wadding, and this is just patch material that is coated with bear oil. And that's all that I keep in this pouch. This is purely for hunting and taking game, reloading, and things like that. Next, of course, is the powder horn. And it's a pretty nice powder horn. It's got a leather strap, and seems to work quite well. Oh, also I have a 70 grain powder measure made out of an antler tip. I probably won't use all of that, but that's the max load that I would want to use anyway. Also, on this thong that goes around my neck, I have which is essentially a speed loader, and I have 4 round balls with the patching already there and already lubed and ready to go. The next thing I have is my tomahawk, and just made a simple mask for it. Nothing fancy, but just a simple tomahawk. Works quite well, whatever I should need. In this is an elk skin pouch. This is my possibles bag, and I just carry odds and ends of things that I think I might need. First of all, of course, is my flint and steel kit. Some of you have seen this on my other videos, but it's just a brass tin with my flint and steel and some char cloth inside. It's got a deer antler toggle to hold it shut. Also carry my folding knife, and it's a lock blade, of course, with the ring on it. You pull that for closing it. I have my blanket pin, and I just have a cork stuck on there to keep it from accidentally puncturing anything while it's riding around. I also have a couple of spare needles with some artificial sinew for doing gear repairs on the trail. I have a burning lens wrapped up in some paper just to protect it and for our extra fire starting. I also carry my reading glasses, These are very vintage, and they slide in and out so I can see to do repairs on my flintlock or to clean things, but that's for good up close work and to protect the eyes. A horn comb for my hair, my beard, whatever. Of course, on the trail your hair gets longer and longer. And then just a simple compass, and some of you are familiar with this. This is a sundial compass. You can use it to tell time. Of course, I have a watch, but sometimes you need to verify that or you need to correct yourself. But this is just a brass compass. And of course, a compass isn't much good without a map. And so in this pouch, I carry my maps, and these are all 3 maps for Tennessee, Kentucky, and Ohio, and they are dated to 1790. So they are period correct for the time in which I'm doing my trek. The next item that I have on my belt next to these other 2 pouches is I have a tinder pouch. And this was made by a very good friend of mine, invented by him, Dan Lutz. And this is great, just a waxed leather pouch that's waterproof. And I have various tinders and twigs in here for fire starting. And then of course my blacksmith made knife. Many of you that watch my channel have already seen this knife, but this is just a really great knife for all kinds of tasks. It holds a great edge. So along with my pocket knife and my patch knife, I'm pretty well loaded up for what I need, other than a skinning knife, of course. The next item that I'm carrying is a glass bottle sewn up in leather with a leather strap and a nice adjustable brass buckle with a cork. And this, of course, is a really nice bottle. It's almost a quart, and what's nice about this is that if I leave water in here for a while, unlike tin, it doesn't rust or cause problems, and it's not stainless steel, so this is actually fairly historically accurate. It's flat bottomed, so it sets easy, and it's just a really great canteen. The next item is my haversack, and has a nice forged buckle, the leather strap on it, and a nice deer antler button there with the proper ticking inside. And it does fold over the top, so it helps keep the water and debris out. And I have quite a few items in here, so I'm going to pull them out one by one and show them to you. First of all, at the top, I have my salt horn, and this is a fantastic little salt horn. I want to carry plenty of salt for when I'm on the trail. Salt is hard to get until you get to certain places where they have salt licks and they're boiling it down, so you have to carry this. Next, I have my little leather-bound journal, and this, along with the pencil that I will show you here in a little bit, is where I'm going to be using to take my notes and to keep my journal for my trip. Wrapped up inside of this little package here is some cotton material, 2 candles for using on the trail. And then inside this small bag here are my utensils and my toothbrush and my pencil. So I have a nice old spoon, I have toothbrush, also have a wire fork, it's a twisted wire fork, 2-prong, and then also I have my brass pencil, and that's what the other 2 leads are for. Of course, this will be for keeping notes in my journal as I travel. In this package, I have some chocolate. Chocolate was very popular back in the late 1700s and all during that period of time. And so I just have 3, if I can get this open here, just 3 solid chocolate rounds. And they are divided, so I can split them up and use them one by one, and just piece by piece and make it last longer. The next item in my haversack is my sewing kit, and again, some of these items are not new to you, but I have some sewing bobbins, I have some needles in a little wooden case, several different colors of thread, my scissors with a cork to protect the tip. Also have some waxed thread, some beeswax for waxing the thread if I should need. Also a metal thimble. Here is my awl for punching holes in leather, doing repairs on my gear. A couple of very large glover's needles for sewing leather. I have an extra cork in case I need to use it for my needles or one of my other tools, just to keep the point from poking into my gear. And last but not least, I have an assortment of buttons, some pewter and some are just old antique buttons for repairing various parts of my gear when needed. Next, I have an extra leather thong, about 100 feet of twine, and then wrapped up in cotton is my trekking skillet, the folding handle for cooking and frying things along the trail. The next item that I carry in this deerskin pouch, these are my tools for working on my flintlock and doing repairs and things along the trail. And first of all, I have just a small pair of pliers. These are also very useful for pulling out your ramrod if it gets stuck. I have a small funnel, brass, in case I need to refill my powder horn or anything else. It needs a very small and tiny funnel. Also carry a small brass hammer. My barrel is pinned on, so I need to use this to knock the pins out. I have a small 47 caliber bag mold. And this bag mold and a lot of these tools are made by Larry Callahan, in case you're curious. I also have a vise. This is a mainspring vise for my large siler lock. It works great. Here is a multi-tool, and this is made by the same fellow, and just various turn screws as well as an extra vent pick. And what's neat about this is it has a little edge here that you can see, and that's useful for chipping the flint and giving a sharp edge again. I also have a folding ladle for melting lead, and it's square. It's designed so you can put a stick in and hold it over the fire, of course, as you're molding your round ball. I have a couple of half-pound lead ingots. Also have my cleaning kit here, which is a toe worm and also a ball puller in case it gets stuck, and it screws in together, and the tip is protected with a cork. And then I also carry an extra piece of leather for working on things, but also when I need to grab onto something that's hot. So this is actually a pot holder, as well as for napping the flints and anything else that I need. The next item that I carry, a small cotton bag, is just a small tin with melted bits and pieces of lead, and these are the sprue cutoffs from the last time I molded the round ball. This also has a hole in it. This is my char tin for making extra char cloth, and of course I have lots of cotton material with me for that purpose. And the last item that I have in the haversack, wrapped up in cotton to keep it from getting everything dirty, is my small tea kettle and corn boiler combination. And this, of course, I use for my tea, my hot chocolate, or anything like that that I would want to use. And I do carry some items inside of here, so I'll show that to you. First of all, at the top, wrapped up in a piece of cotton, I have a little bit of soap. This is Castile soap, and what's nice about this is this will suds up even in cold water, or even salt water for that matter. A lot of sailors used to use it for that. Also inside is my kitchen pepper mix, and I put this kitchen pepper mix together from the video that Townsend's did on it. I really thought that was nice. And what's great about this is because this is my pepper, It is a dark color, and my salt horn is a light color, so it's also a little bigger. Need a little bit more salt and the pepper mix perhaps. So that's the two. But yeah, so the two different colors, light and dark. The next thing I carry, also wrapped up in cotton, is a small tin vial of bear oil. And this is lubricant for my flintlock. And last but not least, I have a small glass bottle wrapped in leather and wax thread. This gives me a lot of extra thread if I should need it, but also helps protect it from breaking. But inside this is sweet olive, or just extra virgin olive oil. This is for cooking and frying and various things like that. And the last thing that's in here is just a nice cup. And after I boil it on the fire, I can pour a little in here, and then this is what I can drink it of. I can also put this over the fire if I want. Of course, it doesn't really have a lid. I mean, this will actually fit on it, so that's pretty handy. But I don't have two, so I can only use one at a time. But this is my drinking cup. And finally, let's talk about the bedroll. I keep it on here with this nice leather strap, brass hardware. And in here I have just a whole lot of items. So I'm going to roll this out and I'll give you an idea of what all is in here. So the first thing that we have is an extra shirt. And it's just a really nice linen shirt. When this one gets dirty, I'll have one I can wash out and change into. Extra pair of wool socks. A wool pullover hunting shirt. And this is just for extra warmth to get cold at night. I have some wool fingerless gloves, and then I have some food items. First thing that I have wrapped up here, I have a large loaf of dark bread. So period correct for me to eat along the trail. Bread was a very important staple food during the 18th century. So make sure we have plenty of bread. The next thing that we have tied up in this pouch is we have a whole bunch of dried corn. And of course this is for using with the corn boiler, and when you cook this and you boil it, it'll rehydrate and it'll taste just like fresh corn. The next item that I have, very important, in this fantastic wax treated pouch, I carry a pretty fair amount of cornmeal. It's for making Johnny cakes and whatever like that I would want on the trail. I have a goodly amount of dried jerk, or jerky as we call it today. So about 20 ounces, so £1.25 pounds of jerk. And last but not least is my flintlock. This is a Southern Mountain rifle, all iron hardware, and a large siler lock. It has a 39.5-inch barrel, and it is a .50 caliber. This is James Bender for Waypoint Survival. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Also make sure and check out the links in the description box below. And while you're down there, you'll also find our Patreon link. This is where you can donate to financially support the channel for as little as $1 a month. And if you want to support us in other ways, you'll also find our spring link, which is where you can buy great Waypoint Survival branded merchandise. And if you haven't done so already, please subscribe to the channel. We'd really appreciate it. And when you do subscribe, make sure and press that bell button so that you can stay notified of all of our upcoming videos, and we'll talk to you next time.